Kristin, and it is time for another foundation review. If you are new to my foundation reviews, most of the time I do these along with Kirsten from It's Kirsten because she has a more younger, oily skin type, and I am a more mature, drier skin type. So we find that it helps our subscribers to have another option to go and check out. So I'll be sure to list her and her video below for you guys. Today we are reviewing the Maybelline Superstay Better Skin Foundation. Now this was sent to me through Influencer. So if you're not familiar with Influencer, it's a website you can go on and register, and anybody can do this. If you are active in social media, even if it's just Twitter, Instagram, I don't think Snapchat is part of that. I'm on Snapchat, by the way. Trying, anyway. But if you, and also, of course, if you do a YouTube channel, then you can go and put in your information. And I've seen them, they send to all kinds of people, not just YouTubers. So, at any rate, I just want to make sure you guys knew this was sent to me. And what they wanted us to do, and I don't believe this was sent to Kirsten. She had already purchased it and texted me about reviewing this. And I said, sure, absolutely. And that later that day, I got the email from Influencer. So what Influencer wanted us to do, or Maybelline, I'm not sure which, I'm assuming a combination of the two, was something they had hashtagged the Better Skin Challenge. And they wanted you to use it for 3 weeks and that sort of thing. So over a week ago, I took a little bit of footage of my skin, and I'm not going to insert it because I didn't use it long enough for it probably to do what it needs to do. The point of that was, though, that you would use it for 3 weeks and you should see some difference in your skin. And I'm just going to read quickly from their website so I can tell you what the claims are. It says long-wear foundation that improves skin's appearance every minute you're in it. So there's a vitamin C in it, and I want to say, yes, there's an SPF 15 in it as well. I couldn't remember what the SPF was. So, at any rate, they want you to use it for that long and then kind of see how your skin is. I'm not going to use it for 3 weeks, and let's get into why. How about that? So I'm going to go ahead and insert the clip of me applying the foundation, and then we will come back and talk about it. Okay, so I have primed my face already, and the primer that I found that works best of the ones that I have, and I'm going to show you the ones that I have kind of pulled out currently that I've been using. The Laura Mercier, and this is the mineral primer. I don't even think they make this one anymore, but I've tried that one. I tried the Tom Ford Illuminating Primer, because why not try Tom Ford with Maybelline? And then the one that I think works the best with it for some reason, and I don't really know why, is the Arbonne Makeup Primer. So I already have that on, and I have my Beauty Blender wet and wrung out. Is that the right way to say it? So keep in mind that the shade is not what I would have probably picked for my, I know it's not what I would have picked for myself, but this is for the sake of you being able to see. And I do realize that some coverage, we'll talk about that in a minute, but some coverage isn't, well, the coverage won't be as good because, or won't look as good because the shade is lighter for me, but I still think that I have been able to get a good feel for it. So that is coverage with one sort of layer. And I'll do this other side. And then I will do kind of a second layer. Really, this formula on my skin, being a skin that is in good condition but leans dry. I mean, I could put one foundation, well, and I'm going to talk about this more in a minute, but I could put a different foundation on one side of my face and this on the other, and this side would look dry and this side would not. Alright, so that's one layer, kind of whole face, and making me look slightly ghostly. And then usually I have it's kind of not as much of a blotch that I'm putting on there. So technical. And we'll just build that up a little bit. Alright, so that is 2 layers and 1. Look at myself in the viewfinder and I look a tad ghostly, I'm just saying. Well, I'll bronze it up, I promise. Alright. I'll do a little more blending, but for the sake of this, you can see that that is the coverage. Okay, so that is the coverage, and you know, we'll go ahead and start with that. I always do, again, if you're new, I always do a scale. I have 5 different categories, and it can get anywhere from 0 points to a full point, and then I give you an average at the end. So let's talk about the coverage. I don't feel like it's very good coverage at all. Now, it's not saying in their description of it what sort of coverage it's going to give you, but I tried this with Beauty Blender with a flat top kabuki with a kind of a dual fiber brush that I know doesn't give you as much coverage, but I was just trying different things. I tried it with a bunch of different brushes, and I also tried it with my fingers, which is not my favorite application method, but I'll always try it. And I really felt like for my drier skin, the Beauty Blender was the best application. It just, you know, you guys know how the Beauty Blender has a little wetness to it because you've, you know, run it underwater. And so I feel like that helps foundations that make your skin appear drier than it is. It will help it make it look a little bit better. So for me, the Beauty Blender was the best way to apply it. But for coverage, I'm only giving this a 0.25. This is, no matter what I applied it with, it was sheer coverage at best, and I did not feel that it was buildable. I mean, yeah, sheer to medium maybe, depending on everybody has a kind of a different scale of what they feel like coverage is. But I have, I'm not sure if you can see right here, I didn't use any concealer on my face today, so I have a few little spots, kind of the redness here. Those things come through very easily. With other foundations, those things get covered a little bit better. So that's why I only gave it a 0.25 for coverage. So let's move into finish. This is definitely a matte finish. It also is another one that after it sits a little better, or sits a little longer, it does look a little better. I seem to have a few foundations that I've tried lately that are like that. And that is fine as long as you know that going in. But it definitely is a matte finish and just really drying. It's very drying. I am interested. I say this frequently. I'm interested to hear what Kristin has to say. We don't compare notes beforehand just so that we don't taint each other's opinion usually. But I'm just really curious if this worked well for her with her oily skin, because I did not like the finish. So I only gave it a 0.5 point for finish because I just, while it's matte, and maybe that's what it's intended to be, again, it doesn't say, it's very flat. It doesn't have any life to it at all, and I kind of feel like it sucks the life out of my face just a little bit. I'm sure Maybelline's like blackballing me right now. All right, let's talk about something that's positive for a moment, the packaging. This is a glass bottle, has a plastic cover to it, and I'll talk about my shade when we talk about color range. But it has a nice pump that works very well, so I have no issues with the packaging at all. It gets a full point for the packaging. Let's move into color range since we were just talking about that. They sent me the one in Porcelain, and again, this was sent to me. They're sending it to however many people. I don't even know. I think they sent it to like 10,000 people. I have no idea. They sent it to a lot of people. So they're just guessing by your profile, and Porcelain is what they sent to me. This definitely would not have been my shade. My guess is, and I'm kind of looking at the ones that they have, I may have been an ivory or a classic ivory, something like that, but it's hard to guess from what they have on their website. They do have 12 shades, but again, there's a lot of in-between ranges, and they're, at least again from what I can tell on the website, their darkest shades don't seem very dark to me, and but this is really nice. So I'm impressed with as far as having a nice light porcelain shade, because a lot of companies don't have one that is this light. Usually I have trouble finding one that's light enough for me, but not as Kristin actually has lighter skin than I do, and she has a really tricky time. So I'm not sure what shade she got. Again, I'm curious. But so I gave them a 0.5 point for color range, just because I feel like they've covered really well, kind of in the middle and the like warm and cool shades in the middle, but they've left the ends open again, I think. And then lastly is longevity. This claims to be a long wear foundation, so I'm only giving this a 0.25 because it is not, at least not on me. So I would say I notice it breaking down and not looking as good within about 6 hours. That is not long enough for me, and it's certainly not long enough for a foundation that claims to be a long wear. And I don't think that it says any sort of hour, doesn't claim any sort of hour, so you know, hours of longevity. So I'm not sure what they are thinking long wear is, but to me it needs to be longer than 6 hours. And that happens to me whether I have set it with a powder foundation or whether I have not. And again, today I don't have anything on but that foundation and then some blush. And some bronzer, of course, to make my face not look quite so ghostly. So, and this sells for between $12 and $14, kind of depending on where you purchase it from. Usually Walmart has the best price and that sort of thing, and someplace like Walgreens maybe has a little bit higher price point. So there you go. So this ended up at a 2.5. This is not a foundation I will probably use again. I actually, you know, we had, like I said, we had talked about doing it, and I sent her a text and said, I'm not doing this for 3 weeks. I'm ready to review it. I just don't want to wear it anymore. I don't like it. So I have some friends at work that have lighter skin and more oily skin, so I'm going to give this to them to give to her to give a shot and try, see what she thinks of it. But yeah, so I hope that was helpful and informative. You guys know I don't like to be negative, but this is just not a good one. I would say and I just talked about this one in my top 5 foundations, but the CoverGirl Ready Set Gorgeous really is a great foundation, and I like it so much better than that Maybelline Better Stay. So I appreciated it being sent to me by influencer. It just wasn't a win for me. Again, I hope this was helpful for you guys. So on the rest of my face, I have MAC. Again, I have a lot of bronzer to try to make things match. And then I have Margin by MAC as my blush. And it was a MAC kind of day today. On my eyes, I have all the glitters, which is right here. All over my lid, I have Ho in the crease. And then I have Handwritten on the outer corner and just kind of blended in, and beneath my lower lash line as well. And then, if I can move the foundations here, on my lips, I have Chanel Mademoiselle, which looks like that. And I believe that is everything. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you're having a great day, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.